Many of you I see only when we come here for the luncheon every year. But I look forward to being here with all of you. And I want to specially welcome Swamiji. He has graced our event for the last 2 years. And with his blessings, we have done phenomenally well. So, I have a brief presentation to you. Primarily, I think Rekha did an amazing job of introducing you to Care for Children. Just for me to get an idea, how many of you are new here? This is the first time to Care for Children? Okay, there's a few people. I hope you got an idea of what all we do, both here and in India. And I think Rekha did a very nice job of giving you a brief rundown of that. 2016 here in the US was really a bumper year for us. 2016 was unlike any past years for us, mainly because my long-term wish of seeing donors in many cities getting energized began to bear fruit. I mean, really, the program can succeed only if donors feel connected to it, donors feel like this is their program. It is something that they own up. And when that happens, there is no stopping anyone. Sky is the limit of what we can do. And this year, 2016, finally I began to see things kind of change towards that. So 2016, as you see here, was a bumper year for us. We had a lot of cities actually begin to do different events and a lot of people stepping forward, to take up Care for Children. And that's really the validation of all the outreach that the Care for Children has been doing for so long now. So just to give you a rundown, Mother's Day, I think Rekha explained to you what that was. We actually go out and meet a lot of the forgotten mothers in so many nursing homes and so many clinics. Nobody visits them. They're almost like a forgotten set of people who are just waiting, for their exit from this world, in many of these nursing homes. And so our Mother's Day goal was to reach out to as many of these people who had lives to be celebrated, just like yours and mine, and reach out to them and and bring some cheer in them and recognize them. And that's what we did. And believe it or not, in this celebration, 15 cities all over the US joined. This is the first time that many cities joined us in doing it. There were so many volunteers who came forward. Just in the Bay Area, we had over 100 volunteers going out to different nursing homes. And the same is true for all these other cities. And children came out, they came out and met, went to these nursing homes, met and mingled with some of the people there. It was a really joyous event, and 15 cities took part in that. I'm hoping that every year going forward, that number is going to keep increasing. And it was a very simple one. For every $10 that's donated, $3 goes towards setting up a floral arrangement that we gift to these mothers, and $7 goes towards educating a child in India. And so it's a very simple kind of thing, and we had a lot of sponsors all over the US for the flower vases. Then Guruji came here to the Bay Area. It was a fantastic, phenomenal event. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but Rekha led that team gloriously, and we did an amazing job highlighting Care for Children and motivating donors. So that happened. Yogathon, Yogathon has become yoga has become a worldwide phenomenon, and Yogathon actually is an event that highlights Care for Children, and it's a worldwide event now. There are so many countries that are participating in that. If you go to yogathon.org, you will see all the different countries and all the cities in the US that are participating, and there are 15 cities that participate in the US. Dublin led the way. The amount of energy they showed and the amount of enthusiasm they showed, and the number of donors who came and the number of people who came and participated in yoga, they did 52 Surya Namaskars, and it's a great way to get fit as well as to help a cause. So 15 cities came together there. Dandiya has become another signature event for us, and there were 5 cities that took part in that. We had Bay Area, we had Seattle, Delaware, LA, and New Jersey. And then, of course, she also talked about the SOLD initiative, which is to address the human trafficking, which has become the greatest scourge in the whole world for us. That's supposed to be the biggest growing industry. For all those people here working in the IT, don't think that you're the fastest growing industry in the world. It actually turns out to be human trafficking, unfortunately. So there's something that we can do about that, and Care for Children is stepping up to that. And so SOLD is a Academy Award-winning producer who has developed that, and we are following. He has given us free screening of his movies to raise funds for Care for Children. And then Margam, and this is really where things get very interesting. Margam was an event where, again, a donor stepped up and organized events to fund Care for Children. And in that, the amazing thing was people who had no clue what Care for Children was, but who just understood the cause, came up and stepped forward and performed for Care for Children. These are not people who are from the Art of Living Foundation or Care for Children volunteers. They are the general public who were inspired by what we were doing to step up and show their talents in an effort to raise money. And what they did was that they raised money for a cause, which is Rajasthan Girls High School school bus. So in Rajasthan, we have a girls' school. It's an all-girls school with about 148 students. And the girls actually walk from all the surrounding villages. And you can imagine how hot Rajasthan, the state, is. So in either extreme heat or when it's raining and pouring, these children still walk up from their villages. And we decided to gift them a school bus, and that's what these individual donors did. They raised money for that. Finally, in Chicago, there was another person young girl, who decided to step forward. She's a Carnatic musician, and she decided to step forward and sing to raise money for Care for Children. So, all in all, I think when donors step forward and donors do these great things, automatically there is going to be good that happens out of that. And I am so fortunate to be witnessing this, more than anything. Now, I'm really kind of elated and really dumbfounded at how inspired people are and how many things they do. Okay, so briefly, so where does all this money go? We raised all this money, and so where does that go? So I have a little pie chart here that gives you a breakdown of where the money is spent. And as you can see, there are 3 big chunks in that. And that's all you need to really remember. The first chunk is food expenses. In all our schools, we feed children because they come from really impoverished backgrounds. And you cannot teach a child when the stomach is empty. And that's the first thing we are doing. We are feeding children there so that they can actually begin to participate in the next activity, which is the intellectual activity. The second chunk is salaries. We pay salaries to all the teachers and the administrative staff. A lot of us are volunteers, but we cannot expect the teachers to be doing volunteer service there. They are all people who are looking for a livelihood, and to bring the best in, we do have to pay salaries, and that's the salary is the next big chunk there. And the third biggest chunk there is uniforms. I told you earlier, I think Rekha told you earlier that we give clothing, right? So we have to give them uniforms. You won't believe it, you're going to hear some of the other speakers come up. Many of these children don't have any clothing other than the uniforms we give them. It's so unfortunate. In some places they actually wear the uniforms throughout the day. And why? Because that's pretty much the only set they have. So these things that we are doing are really uplifting communities, and I'm so glad that you're here to grace this occasion and to bless us to move forward on this. So here are some of the projects we did. This is just for you to know. In 2016, we funded actually 3 states where we took care of all the schools. Over 14,000 children benefited from all of what you guys are doing, which is funding us and helping us out and volunteering for this, 14,000 children benefited directly from this. So among the different projects, Sierra Circuits, which is one of our biggest funders, we opened a school which is just finishing completion in Tripura, which is one of the northeastern states, a very backward state. It's almost done. December 15th is when we're going to be handed the keys. We're looking forward to that. The students are looking forward to that. It's going to be fantastic from here on, in that little village there. We have funded 2 other schools in Maharashtra. One is Dahigaon, the other one is Devachi Jali. Those are 2 schools that we are opening. They are elementary schools. 1st to 5th is what we are offering there. And we have enough land. Lands are all donated in all these places. It's so magnanimous to see farmers, poor farmers, separate or cut out a portion of their land and give it to us because they want us to come there and open the school for the whole village. So all the land is donated here. And these are 2 new schools that we just funded. And then there's a Rajasthan school bus that we did. And these are the 3 states, Tripura, West Bengal, and Uttar Pradesh, which have the maximum number of schools. These are the states that we have funded for this 2016. Okay, for 2017, these are the projects that we want to take. Our fundraising goal in the US stands at $1 million. We this year are pretty close to that. Just to give you an idea, we are about $800,000 on the way there. So we have 1 month to go. We have $200 to cover. 200,000. 200,000. Did I say $200 to cover? Maybe that's what it is. But hey, anyway, we have to cover 200,000. And we have all of you and all of yours. So I'm sure we'll get there. And then there are, a bunch of school projects that we want to take. If any of you are inspired by any of these, we'll be more than happy to hear from you. There's Arunachal Pradesh, which is one of the northeastern states. It's right next to Tripura. There's a school that is located on top of a hill. Children are walking up to the school these days. And we really want a school bus there. That's about $35,000, $31,000 covers the school bus, and there's about $4,000 for the driver, gasoline, and all that. And then there are a couple of schools in Maharashtra that are waiting to be funded. There's 2 schools there. Then there's one more school girls' school we are opening in Rajasthan. This one that we opened has been a phenomenal success. Children just love to be there. They're just having a great time there. We decided to replicate that model, so 1 more school in Rajasthan. And finally, 2 schools that we are opening in Tripura too. And these are the schools that we are targeting here. Beyond this, in India, they are targeting more schools. I don't know if you heard the news, Guruji just recently went to Kashmir, and 27 schools were burnt down there by, extremist activities. So, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar has actually offered to build those 27, and they will be free schools when they are built. So that might also fall on our lap. And so that's about it. We are covering the operating expenses for those states. The 3 states, we may land up extending it. That's going to be almost $600,000. That's what we are spending. About $150,000 to $200,000 per quarter is what we are spending on these schools. So I think the total amount will land up exceeding $1 million, but right now I'm just pegging it at about that. Okay. Thank you so much for being here.